Alright guys, so obviously this year at E3 2019, Sony did not have a panel, they did not have a booth, and they did not reveal anything regarding their new system coming very soon. So we know that both of these new systems from Sony and Microsoft are going to be releasing pretty much holiday 2020 around that time, and we're ramping up the time in which we're going to see a ton of stuff revealed for these two consoles. Obviously, we had some Xbox stuff revealed. I did a little video uploading the panel and talking about some stuff as well, but I'm going to start to go more in depth and see what exactly we're going to be expecting from these two consoles, because it's a big deal, because those are the consoles that everyone's going to be using and making games for the next generation. This video here, we're going to go through a bunch of the PS5 information we have so far that was leaked, although we haven't had anything officially from E3 or officially revealed from them. There's a ton of insider information floating around. The main point of this video obviously is about the price point, which seems ridiculous, and we'll talk about that, but also the graphics, the specs, and how powerful this PlayStation actually is going to be when it releases. So let's go through here. First thing, I want to look at the price points for the PlayStations that we've seen in recent years, and then let's look at this $800 number we're throwing around, because that is actually insane. That's a little under a PC that you would buy. I know my PC, my gaming PC, was around $1,400. $800 for a console, that's really up there, and the average person cannot afford that. But let's look back at the past. How much have PlayStations originally cost? So for its time, the PS3 at launch was actually fairly expensive. It was $500 and $600 for their two respective hard drive sizes. November 17th, 2006. It's very interesting how that worked back then, and I'm pretty sure the Xbox 360 was a lot cheaper around that time. But the PS3, again, for its time, a bit expensive, especially that $600 version. And usually with these, consoles, you're going to need more memory, so I bet a ton of people got that $600 version. It's a decent amount of money to invest in a console, especially if you're not a hardcore gamer. That's a lot of money to actually, give for just a game console that you're going to use every so often. But PS4, they did it right. It was $400. And if you think about it, the Xbox One, you had to buy the Kinect at launch. When the PS4 launched, it was advertised pretty much as $100 less. The Xbox One was $500, but it came with that $100 Kinect bundle you had to buy, and that was a huge blow for the Xbox One. PS4 really, did well. $400, pretty good price point, and they sold so many units because of it. And now let's look at the PS5. So again, the PS5, they're trying to make it a really insane console for this year. If you see any of the leaks, and you can tell Sony really wants to make sure they're ahead of the game. They were ahead of the game with the PS4 over the Xbox One, and they want to keep that running into the next generation of consoles. So here is a actual clip from a little discussion that someone had, a gaming analyst had at E3 with Jeff, one of the hosts on the live stream. So I'm going to play for you guys, and here you go.
Internet legend Michael Pachter. We have to bring you by to set the stage for E3.
Thank you.
Say something wild that the Reset Era forums are going to go off on here.
Oh God, Reset Era. I haven't been on there in like 2 years. Okay, wild. PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
$800.
Really?
Have you looked at the specs?
Uh-huh.
If they make the mistake they made with PS3 and charge $600 or more,
right,
they've screwed themselves. So I don't understand it. It's like 50K or something and like 10,000 frames a second. I don't know what it is. It's really fast.
But they're not going to charge $800.
I know. I hope not. But I don't know how you spec that thing out at $300 or $400. I just don't know. So
maybe they'll surprise you.
They're not going to surprise me at E3 though. We're talking about E3. They dodged E3 because they didn't have any good news to tell us.
Not good news, they just didn't have anything probably new to announce, right?
Yeah, but how do you go, you're a business, how do you go a year with nothing to say? That's like us not having this show this.
So pretty much the point of that was that obviously the $800 price point probably isn't going to happen, but he pretty much says with the specs that were leaked for this console that it pretty much has to be $800. So obviously it wasn't confirmed that this console is going to be $800, and if you think about it, they wouldn't in their right mind price a console at $800 because they know it's just not going to sell well. But the problem is the specs that are being leaked, the hard drive, the processing, the GPU, CPU, all the stuff that we're going to go through right now, everything that's being leaked, it's insane, and it would warrant an $800 price point. So the guy and the gaming analyst in the clip, and I think everyone that really knows about, computers and what's going on with consoles, they're just baffled that, Sony has to figure out some way to price this console cheaper and lower, and with these crazy specs. So honestly, even if it isn't $800, this definitely might be a console that's it's not under 500. I'm definitely seeing maybe a $500 to $600 price point for this console minimum. Let's go through a bunch of these specs here and see what this console is all about. So the CPU, 7nm, 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU, clocked at 3.2 gigahertz. These processors work according to a clock that beats billions of times a second. The PS4 Pro clocks at 2.13 gigahertz, so this would be a big step up. Next thing here is the GPU, custom AMD Navi GPU with 65 compute units, 1.8 gigahertz. 12.9 teraflops of power, meaning it could complete 12 trillion operations per second. This is identical to the GPU details listed in a separate set of leaks. Other than the teraflops, we won't know for sure until the PS5 is finalized, and that's obviously, these are all leaks, so nothing is confirmed, but this is most likely what's going to happen. Ray tracing support, we heard that with the Xbox as well. Sony confirmed, I'm guessing saying Sony here, or I guess Sony, maybe that's some guy, that the PS5 would make use of a rendering technique that can create a very high degree of visual realism called ray tracing. They also alleged that this would be possible due to the custom GPU AMD Sony is cooking up. We have memory and solid state drives, so 24 gigabytes of random access memory, which would line up with previous leaks. Sony is working on putting a solid state drive into the PS5, which is much faster than a traditional hard drive. So this is why people are saying, PS5 looking more like a PC. And I'm pretty sure some of the Xbox leaks have said that they're also adding an SSD into their console. So they really are just becoming PCs. And I can also see in the near future you being able to switch out your parts for your consoles and put in better processors and SSDs and memory drives and stuff like that, and they're just going to turn into PCs pretty much, which would be very interesting. We'll see how the price point works with that. PS4 backwards compatibility, so these are some of the features. You can run all of your PS4 games. That's pretty sick. You just put the disc in, the PS4 disc, and you're good. That would be a huge deal for a lot of people, and even if people don't use it too often, that's just a good marketing tool to have anyway, just to be able to say, like, guys, you could use all of your old games. You don't need to go back to your old console. It's a huge problem with me. Well, I guess not, because the thing with the Xbox One, they do have backwards compatibility, but you can't just put the disc in the console. You have to either make sure the game is backwards compatible, you have to wait for them to update it, or you have to just get the game on the Xbox One. So if they had that where you just put the disc right in the console, that would be a huge plus for a ton of people. So that'd be cool. Next thing here, we have the frame rate boost mode. So just like the current PS4 Pro, the PS5 will come with a boost mode feature to increase games' frame rates. There's no mention of what it will be capable of, but keeping games at a steady 60 frames per second would bring the PS4 closer to PC gaming than ever before. So again, this is the general theme of bringing consoles closer to PCs. I think overall that's probably going to be the next generation of consoles and what we're going to see. And I do think for the most part they're going to limit it, because they don't want you just to be able to buy one PS4 and then, have the ability to endlessly upgrade. I think an argument against them becoming PCs would be that they want you guys, let's say the PS5 releases, it's really powerful. Maybe you could switch out the hard drive to add more memory, but other than that, I think they're going to keep it so you can't change the processors or anything like that, because they want you to buy the next version of the PS4, the PS5, so the PS5 Pro, when it comes out in 3 or 4 years after the PS5 releases, they want you to buy that, and that's obviously going to have better graphics, 6K, 10K, and all this insane stuff, and then they want you to buy the next one, and then obviously the PS6, whatever that is. That's just how it is. So that's the only way we're not going to see stuff like computers in consoles where you could just add different parts and switch out whatever you want and make your own thing. I mean, they're getting powerful. They're getting just as powerful as PCs, but the customizable options and stuff like that, that's probably not going to come. Maybe to some extent, but like I said, probably not going to come anytime soon. So overall, this is pretty sick. I do think if you guys know anything about computers, those specs are really good. Like, those are really good specs, especially just the CPU, GPU, and a bunch of different stuff. The SSD is a huge plus. Those are huge deals for a console. And the fact that, you know, they have to price this console at a point where it's actually available to consumers is just insane. So I think that $400 PS4 launch price that we saw, it's just not going to happen. I can't see it happening. And it does suck because a lot of people just can't afford a console. You know, you have to make it so normal families can afford to get this for, you know, someone's Christmas gift or something like that, or the overall family Christmas gift, whatever. And, you know, when you're getting up to the $500, $600 range, that's a lot of money to throw down. So I don't know, like us, I'm pretty sure most of my audience right now, everyone watching this video, even if you're not a YouTuber and if you're a gamer overall, it's a good investment. Obviously, we play, you know, video games. Even if you don't play every day, I mean, we play it so enough to where we're going to make our money back. So for us, we're pretty much good. But for the normal people, and the majority of their sales is from normal people, normal families, when they look at that $600 price point potentially, it's like, oh man, I don't know, and that may affect them. And if the Xbox 2, whatever it is, if it's priced slightly lower, people are going to go for that. Even if it's slightly less powerful, people might still go for that. The PS4 was huge because it was more powerful and $100 less. That's the perfect combination. But the PS5 looks like it might be pretty expensive, and the Xbox 2, as of now, we're not so sure on the specs, but I think the specs might be a little lower than the PS5, so they might be able to put it a little cheaper, and that might be an advantage for them. So we'll see what happens. But until then, we have a year of a ton of stuff. They're both going to be revealed next year at E3, definitely, for sure, maybe even earlier. But we'll just have to see what the deal is here. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, if you did watch the whole video, leave a comment below PS5.